Live streaming is on.
So today, right? I had the lesson with my German student, right? And so we're talking about the chat GBT. Remember, Mel brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and yes. So it's that AI language, AI that developed by OpenAI, and so we signed up and we started using it during our lesson. Right? It was amazing. And so then I had a session with Arte and Joyce. We worked on the SVG and website, and I was trying to get the donation button, right? But I was having problem. It was giving me errors. So I asked. I named him. I named him now Pluton. Asked Pluton in 2-3 questions. He explained me everything. He generated the code, and I managed to get the button set up. It's beautiful. So it's really cool, Jay. I think you would love it. Like he's very advanced. He lied to my face. I had a discussion with him because he lied to my face, because first he says that, oh, I don't feel emotions, but then he says, oh, I'm happy to hear that. So I was arguing with him. I was saying, stop contradicting yourself. I mean, but it's like, and he learns. Like he archives all your conversations, everything, and like it's quite cool, quite tough. Yeah.
Well, feel free to link it to the notes if you want to. So we jump into this topic.
Yes. Sorry for this.
Did anyone have any questions about that? I mean, we could set up another topic on that as well if you wanted to. Talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, because it's so powerful that I would think that we should. I mean, I need to document the work that I did, and I would put it in the responsibility organizing. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, we can use any tool to achieve our goals. That is for sure. It depends on the cost.
Yeah, it's revolutionizing the efficiency of so much work, right? And it's having a it has also already 100 million users. Was launched only in December, and it's like the fastest growing thing ever. Like there's
I'm
nothing.
back.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, very cool.
But yeah, I mean, let's prioritize that for like another session as well. We can talk about the AI systems and how we could keep using it to benefit.
Oh yeah, if someone mentioned ChatGPT and AI, I think it's very useful, especially for
I used it today.
I spent 3-4 hours with it and researched a lot of it. I think it's really good for the workers too, especially for some of the email content and stuff like that.
I used it today during a session. I had problems in putting the donate button in the website. The SVG
it's amazing
website.
with the coding.
I asked him.
That stuff.
Yes, I asked him 2-3 questions. He generated the code for me from the link that Jake gave me. He explained me all the steps how I should do. I did it. Yes.
Yeah.
And,
from English to coding to many things, like generate some blanket text, or generate a lot of things.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, I love it. I named it Pluton.
Okay, just this is on the side. If any of the workers want to, you guys want to, the team members want to play around with ChatGPT. It's free right now, and it can help expedite some of the tasks. Yeah.
Does someone want to link us to our notes? Or do we make a separate topic on it? Or I just don't know.
We don't have to talk about it in detail today, but
later. Yeah, later. But I can put the link to sign up. The problem is that, for example, Ate in Cameroon and Joyce in Egypt, they tried, but it's not available in their country yet.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Weird. All right. Well, anyways, let's get focused on this topic, shall we?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So the goal of a bunch of proposals to help us get focused. The Umbrella Showcase website. So
Yeah.
maybe you could mute. I'll refer someone who's a little background right there. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's coming from.
Well, mute if you're not talking, it'll be helpful. So the goal here is to get agreement on a bunch of proposals to help us with the Umbrella Showcase website. Again, there's still a lot of background noise. I think it, oh, that's better. Whoever muted it helps a lot. Okay. So the first proposal is just to get clarity on our Umbrella Showcase website sub-trajectories. And so the proposal is to update the Umbrella trajectory for the Umbrella Showcase website. So you'd have one Umbrella trajectory, which is the Umbrella Showcase website itself. And then you have 3 full trajectories, which is the Umbrella Showcase website launch, the Showcase website work, and then the planning and coordination. And then the sub-trajectories under these 3 full trajectories include identity and guiding documents, criteria, purpose, and scope, which is under the overall launch. And this also would include the well, no, actually not. Then you have under the website work, you have each and every website would be a sub-trajectory. So there'd be lots of sub-trajectories based on however many websites we want to showcase and all the multimedia. And there's a lot going on. And then the planning and coordination would be our launch agreement, pipeline experience model, and like anything else that relates to the coordination and tactical ops, etc. So the only other detail is that once we schedule the life support weekly main session, that there would be 3 sessions per week currently scheduled for each of the full trajectories. So it works perfectly with our current schedule. And then that would evolve. So are there any questions about this proposal?
No questions from me.
Are there any concerns?
No concerns for me. Joyce, Ate, Moth, Mamoon, Mal.
No.
Okay.
No concern.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection.
Right, so this was really helpful to just make sure that we are organized with all of our trajectories and sub-trajectories and everything for the Umbrella Showcase website. All right, that brings us to the process of getting agreement on the launch cutoff. This is part of the launch agreement. And so we discussed this for multiple days, and eventually it brought us to the concept that we need to get agreement on the process of what we're going through so that as we go through it, we can achieve agreement, as opposed to just going towards the final agreement, which without the process is okay. The proposal to set the following process in motion to achieve team agreement on the launch cutoff and the launch agreement, right? So obviously we set up, we will brainstorm everything to include, right? So this is basically any program website that we feel is essential for the launch. And we pretty much have already done this. And we have a list of about 7, 8, 9 different websites. Okay, so then we want to narrow down this list with the voting form. And we already did that as well. So we put the list of everything formed into the voting form. And then we prioritize that and got the ranking from the voting form, which we'll go through in a minute. So I'll submit this pause here and go back to the pipeline experience. I think it's really clear that this is very different than the pipeline experience. The pipeline experience is going to be much broader. It's going to look at hundreds of possible ideas and then narrow that down to like the top 50 that they're then going to be presented to the public for like narrowing that down even further for what's going to come after the launch. Right, but for now, this is just really focusing on what our team wants to do internally. So this is a proposal for the process for the internal team, right? Internal team process, not the public actual pipeline experience. So then the third part is like we look at our priorities list, which we're going to go through in a minute, and then from each of these priorities, we're going to review the factors in consideration based on the criteria that we agree with for whether to include it in the launch or not. And that's where we're going to take a pause and actually go and spend time reviewing each of the actual priorities that we chose. This is very important because this is what we'd be doing today. Is there any questions about this, of what this is? So we're going to approve the criteria, and then we're going to approve the list of rankings, and then we're going to go through each one and get a very detailed understanding of the components and the considerations of whether we include it or not. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? So the step 4 is we're going to vote on whether to include each priority based on the factors and the criteria that we evaluated on. All right, so we're going to go through each one and basically vote on it, and it's either going to be included or not be included. And we're going to strive for supportive consensus like we always do. Strive for supportive consensus, and track growing consensus. So then that brings us to the final proposal and the full picture of the cutoff, which is step 5, right? And just basically putting together the final proposal. Then we're going to do a final vote on that and then get an agreement on how to actually do the work, whether we want to work on one website at a time, whether we want to work on multiple websites at a time, etc. So are there any questions about the proposal and the process that we are proposing going through, and that we do that for the next half hour or so? Hour.
No questions from me.
No questions.
Okay. Are there any concerns?
No concern for me.
Okay. Are there any objections?
No objection
No
for me.
objections.
No objections.
Okay. So it looks like we have consensus on our process. This is good. This will get us to our agreement. So the next proposal is to approve the criteria for how we evaluate each of the priority websites that we want to showcase. Also, if you link the, I guess we have, if you could link the actual results in the voting form, that would be helpful. So this is the list that we have so far. So if anyone wants to add anything to the list, this is very important. So the first thing is, is the program active or not active? Like if it's not active, it's not as essential to include. If it is active, then it's okay, we're actively doing it, so maybe we should consider including it. The next one, and that's part of our, actually you could also link the, or include in the next tab, right? So add to next tab our scope and purpose, right? For the Umbrella Showcase website launch. Can you do that, Alberto?
Sorry, Jay. I'm linking the results. Where do you want the results first that you said?
Well, we have those results here. If you could just link the spreadsheet, it would be helpful.
Okay, just
we already have the results line 81 to 94. But if you could also link the purpose and scope, or just add the purpose and scope, that would be helpful for understanding our criteria, because our criteria should match our purpose and scope. So one of the goals, this is prioritization options. This goes down here in the, put that in line 79, right?
Yes. So
right.
In the next step, you want to add to copy and paste the scope and purpose.
Add that here when we're deciding on finalizing our criteria. It helps to have the scope and purpose, because the scope and purpose should define our criteria. So part of our scope and purpose is active programs.
Got it.
How does this program affect the network and the team? So if you have a program that affects the network a lot, it might be good to include versus not. How much work will it take to accomplish before the launch? If it's going to be way too much work, then maybe we should consider not doing it before the launch, because we want to get launched sooner, versus being a lot of work. The next one is whether it's essential. So some things are just essential for the launch, whereas other ones are just really more of a luxury. What is the revenue generation model and potential income? This is very important. So if we're trying to launch and we're trying to stabilize our budget and everything, it's important to understand what potential websites being showcased generate revenue, how much, and what the income looks like. How does this relate to our values and purpose? Right? For our values and our purpose and our mission and vision, It's important to consider that, and that also relates to our purpose for the launch itself, which we'll include here. I think I'll keep getting it. And then where will this take us into the future, and where we're going with this for our vision in the long term. You know, so if something only serves the short-term needs and not the long-term needs, then how does that relate to the launch? So those are the criteria we have so far. Are there any other criteria that are really important that we should include? Or does that cover everything? And it would be helpful to look at our scope and purpose. Should I get it if you can't get it, Alberto, or is anyone else trying to get it?
I'm linking. No, I'm linking.
Okay.
Where do you want it?
We're on line 48 to 60.
Yeah, 49.
Awesome. So if there's anything that anyone wants to add, otherwise we can always make considerations later. So if there's any questions or concerns, I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick look at our scope and purpose to see if there's anything really essential that we missed. Okay, so this is the Umbrella Showcase website and launch criteria scope. We want it to be professional. We want it to present the work and vision of our team in a way the public can understand. We want to lay out our story, right? So that could be another thing, like how does this affect the network and the team? You know, is it part of our story? You know, I think that's a good question to be asking, whether it's actually a part of what we're actually doing. And then we have activity, following policies. I think that's pretty much it. We want to do recruitment, follow-up, empowerment. We want to interconnect everything together. Okay, so any other questions or concerns on our criteria?
No.
Objections?
No objections.
All right, so it looks like we have consensus on our criteria, and this is really good because this criteria will be used for all future projects in the pipeline as well. So now we can stop and we can basically start reviewing all of these, each individual proposed website, and go on to the next topic. So are there any questions on this process? If we wanted to, we could approve and certify the ranking of the vote from before the vote. If we want to do that before we go into the evaluation,
The table.
What table?
With this prioritization, right? The results here, the responses from the voting form.
We could do that afterwards. It's not essential for the evaluation. Okay, so why don't we just go to the topic 5, which is going to be the showcase evaluation. That sound good? Is everyone ready to go on to the actual evaluation discussion based on our decision? We just made a bunch of decisions that get us focused on this. Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, what are the factors and considerations for including the following program as part of the Umbrella Showcase website launch? Right, and then the program would be, in this case, you could say social value group, right? And then we have all of our criteria that we want to evaluate. So what I'm thinking here is that we would just open this up for comment and simultaneous async, right? So we have the criteria over here. So each one we'll give each program like 20 lines or so. So we'll start at every 20 lines. So line 40 will be the Life Support Alliance. Right, and then line 60 will be.
I can help you, Jay. Don't worry. Keep going. Keep going. I will finish up the list here.
Yeah, well, we'll just get it all going here, and then we can be. So anyone can type their ideas at the same time as other people are talking. Okay, so if you have an idea of what you want to consider for one of these programs in terms of whether it should be included or not. You can kind of skip ahead and just add ideas. Also, we did this already for the specifically the factors and considerations for, which one did we do? The pipeline, right?
Yes.
So if we want to go through that as an example, we could. If anyone would prefer us to do the example first. And let's give these all numbers so that we can keep track of them. This is number 1. So what do you guys want to do? You guys want to just jump in, overall, or do you guys want an example first, or what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Or do you guys want to do something else? So we don't have to if you don't want to do it. Is anyone there?
No, let's do it, guys. This
Yes,
is
make sample first, so
this is
it will be clear to everyone.
This is the
So Joyce,
foundation.
you would prefer an example?
Yeah, the one we did on the pipeline. Yeah. So
Okay.
everyone also will know.
So the pipeline is number 6. So let's just get the pipeline experience example, and then we'll be good to go. So where is the pipeline experience example? Do you know where that is? Did we do that a previous day? Do you remember when that was?
And it was in our Andromeda last time.
Can you get it maybe, or?
Just a minute.
I'm
Is it, Andromeda?
finishing up here.
Wait, I will just look.
I'll be right there. It's in our identity of yesterday, you know, the session for yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday.
Got it.
Identity.
Got it. Okay, so right here. Oh, here we go. Factors to consider for the pipeline model. Oh yeah, this is it right here. I found it. All right, so we're going to go through the example of the pipeline model. This is on line 122. So what are the factors and considerations for including the following program as part of the Umbrella Showcase website launch for the Showcase Pipeline Experience Model? It is an active program of our team. So we are actively doing the Showcase model. We are utilizing it for co-creation experiences, including SVG and other programs and projects. It is a lot of additional work and resources needed for the output to get ready for the launch. It's technically not essential for the launch, right? The pipeline experience model is not essential for the launch. There is no short or medium term revenue generation for the Showcase Pipeline Experience model, $0. It is really great and exciting way to get the public actively involved in prioritizing for future activities in our pipeline. With unlimited potential and possibilities for growth and scale. It perfectly aligns with our story because people in the public can suggest ideas and get involved and create sponsored programs and then become a client and then get an org support for their cause based on their ideas and what they want to present. And then it will tell us our ongoing priorities. This will help us be more stable and clear moving forward after the launch. So those are the considerations we already made for the Showcase Pipeline Experience model. So does anyone want to add anything to that based on our criteria? And then also you can add anything for any of the other programs that we have listed here, because the goal is basically to evaluate each of these programs so that we can have the information we need to vote on them, of whether or not to include them.
Yeah, I would add what we considered yesterday, that I mean, for this specific
which program?
Website, the Showcase Pipeline Experience one, right? We're here.
So
right?
what's adding?
Yeah. So as we said yesterday, for this specific website, it also kind of makes sense if we don't include it in the launch, because we launch with the rest. We get the public to know us. We get our finances in order. We grow, and then basically in 6 months or so we do another launch with this, which would be amazing, because then the public would get more easily engaged. We already known. We already have a strong presence online, and they would be like possibly another super launch, right? So the public see, okay, these guys are serious. They're doing a lot of cool shit already, and now look, all the things that they want to do, and they're asking us to get engaged and help them make decisions on what's coming next. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. So anything else? Otherwise, let's go on to one of the other programs and get and evaluate it based on the criteria. And we can start at the top of the list as well if we want to.
Yeah, let's start with the social value group. Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, social value group is active. Is the program active or not? Is active. How does it affect the network and team? Is it part of our story? Absolutely. I mean, it's part of what we know how to do, and I mean, Jay has been doing it for a long time. So yes. Yeah, right. So, yes. Then how much work will it take to accomplish before the launch? I mean, the website is we said about 70% ready, not much work. Today we also worked some more. So the contribution page is also in a good state. So not too much work. It is essential for the launch. Well, this is a difficult question. I mean,
I would say 100% absolutely, because the original launch was just going to be SVG to build our client revenue. So in terms of this being part of our next endeavor and launch, this is, we postpone this specifically so that we can launch it.
yeah, correct. Then what is the revenue generation models and potential income? I mean, this could bring us in the short term immediately at least $5,000 to $10,000 per month, I guess. Maybe let's say.
Well, I would say that would be a little more than medium. That'd be more like medium term. Medium plus long term would be 5,000 to 10,000 a month, right?
Yeah. Then how does this relate to our values and purposes? I mean, it relates very well because I mean, this is the social value group. Purpose is to help social-oriented organizations, right? So help them to get stabilized, have professional services, so that they can be successful. So it relates very well. And where will this take us into the future in our vision? I mean, in the future, it will be very important because all the client work will be basically overseen and will go through SVG. So very very important for the future.
I mean, I think I differentiate client work from SVG client work. Like all SVG client work is obviously going to go through SVG, but anyone can obviously have a client in something other than SVG, and there's still client work. Right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what will it take? It will help us support us to accomplish our vision for sure, because it will bring income. It will bring the possibility to hire people, develop our model, our vision for sure.
And support social programs and organizations.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly.
Have budget, right? So the only limitation for this is that they have budget, yeah, to pay us. All right, cool. That sounds really good. Is there anything anyone wants to add for social value group or any of the other groups? Or Alberto, do you want to add anything for any of the other ones, or do we go on to another person, or what?
I mean, there's a lot I could add, but let's let somebody else.
Let's go on to the next person. Who wants to give a try on evaluating one of these programs for the launch? Mock,
Nobody?
Joyce,
Nobody
Mel,
there?
nobody.
I'm on mute. I was talking.
Okay, good.
The Life Support Alliance. I will try. Okay. Yes, I consider it to be active because we will be scheduling regularly for the life support program.
I would actually say it's semi-active.
Semi-active. Okay.
Because we aren't, we don't actively support the program, but we want to, right?
Okay.
And
So is
it is basically always coming up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was basically forced back, right? Because it's so part of our identity.
okay. So how does it affect the network and the team? Is it part of our story? Yes, it is part of our story, of course, and it empowers the network or the team by supporting their, what you call that? Uh,
Challenges, supporting individual challenges.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm looking for another terms. Okay, and then how much work will it take to accomplish before the launch? How much more? Maybe just a little push more, and then it will be okay. We'll just have to make the emails and all, and we just send to our invitees.
What do you think is the status percent of this?
60%.
Really?
What do you think?
Well, I think there's two. There's two here. There's
I think it's
maybe 60% on the program itself, because it is quite simple to do. But then on the website, obviously it's 0% because we haven't started the website.
Oh, yes. Okay. What is the revenue generation model and potential? Is it essential for the launch? It's essential for the launch. Yeah, definitely. Right?
I mean, I would say possibly not, because we could still do the Life Support program without it being on the Umbrella Showcase website launch itself,
Oh,
right? If we just did it in the background, for example, we just schedule the Life Support sessions, we have them for our team, and anyone else who wants to join, it doesn't necessarily need to be on the actual Umbrella Showcase website,
oh yeah. Okay.
right?
Yes.
yeah.
So,
Can also be part of another website like the co-op for the moment, like a page in the co-op website. Something like
okay, what is the revenue generation model and potential income? Well, I can say we can possibly get clients from our life support alliance program, right?
Uh,
So
Potentially,
potentially,
so potentially can be used for outreach and getting clients, right? But that'd be more like outreach and sales, right? The actual
mm,
program is by donation and and free, basically, right? And it's volunteer based, right? And volunteer based. So I mean, the direct revenue generation would be anywhere from $0 to maybe a few $100s a month, because we're just getting donations, right? Based on people's need. And then, but I do
yeah, yeah.
that it can be used as outreach and getting clients for SVG and other things. But the money wouldn't go to the program. The money would go to SVG.
Oh, okay. So what else? How this relate to our values and purpose? Uh, it will be it helpful to connect people together because one of our purpose is to connect, right? To connect the public together. Is it? Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. Perfect.
And where will this take us
And
into?
I also added this is one of our core values. Like life support is a core value and one of the foundational components and programs of the entire network. Like life
Big
support,
time.
Yeah, yes.
very, very beginning. This is why we exist. Is because instead of helping people with specific organizational needs, we've always helped individuals with their life goals and dreams, which has got us where we are now.
Yeah. Okay.
With everything.
So where will this take us into future and our vision? Future. Because through our life support program, we can present our work, no? So
Mainly, we can help a lot of community leaders, like social leaders that are developing social programs, so that it would be very helpful for the future in our vision.
yeah, and if they understand our work and vision, then it will be helpful for them to contribute to our vision and
Yes,
mission.
great. I think that you did an amazing job, Joyce. That was just perfect. Do you want to choose another person or ask the next person to, or do you want to keep going with the next one, Joyce? You did great. It was really, really good.
I don't have any. I don't have much knowledge on the others, but okay. I will. Let's welcome other people for now. For the other.
Okay, I can do the next one because I have some experience with the next one.
Okay.
Go for it, Mel.
Okay, so is the program active? It is extremely active. So I'm going to say very active. Does it affect the network and team? I'm going to say yes, because we're hoping to use some of the budget to pay some of the team members. How much work would it take? I'm estimating myself 10 hours minimum. So it's not going to be that much work. I'm hoping to just revise. We have 3 current websites, so it's more of a website updates as opposed to launching something completely new. And then is it essential for the launch? I think so, because this is I want to be able to say with SVG and the showcase website that this is something that we've done for the last at least like up to 15, 16 years. And then does it generate potential income? Yes. It can potentially invite new members, reactivate older members, engage new members in either the umbrella or either the live support. Because of our history with this program, the sponsorship program, it is one of the most successful revenue generation models we have. And I believe there's a demand for it. And then
Go
ahead.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Ambos, which is the Azure for profit, which is J. This is the currently. I mean, we have the nonprofit fund budget that it's coming from here, from the sponsorship program. So super essential, and yeah, right.
Yeah. And then I think that it will take us to where we are with the budget and our future and our vision, and that's basically it. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
I'd say this is the foundation to supporting new upcoming programs and projects that can transform the world, right? So, because the whole model that we have for African Community Network is that we don't necessarily have the solutions. We believe that if we had the solution, the world would already be fixed. And that's how we present that real solutions immediately take effect and they actually work. Anything that's currently not improving the planet means that it's not the right solution yet, right? So this allows us to support any new potential idea that anyone has to set up a program and support them through the sponsorship program to get it launched quickly, easily, and effectively. So it's just a foundational component to our entire vision for transforming the world. Because we ourselves don't necessarily know that we have the solutions, but we can help young people and experienced people, whoever in between, to get their ideas started and focused if they believe that that's a good solution for the helping the world. So that was perfect, Mel. I think that covers everything. I believe the only other thing that I want to add here is that we can prioritize specific branches of the sponsorship program, like CCC, that we believe will be able to increase revenue generation. So we don't
Yeah,
have,
that's
we can
true.
easily we can kind of cut corners and get the sponsorship program up and updated with a specific focus. So like when you go to the sponsorship program website, for the whole thing, we can just showcase right in the middle on the very first page, CCC, get people in understanding that. And it's like, oh, if you want something other than CCC because you're interested in blah, 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 like not for profit or whatever else, click here, So we can easily showcase, one website as the primary focal point of the sponsorship program.
Yes, because it's even though I said that it's there is our current websites, it's not really for the sponsorship program umbrella with the trust or the for-profit side. It's more on the nonprofit side right now, which which would take more work to develop.
Yeah, but so one thing important to do. So all this, all the work that would be generating from the decision that we're taking here now would be, we would focus on these. Obviously, we can always schedule extra sessions, but relation to our current weekly schedule, all the work would happen within the sessions that are scheduled for the umbrella trajectory, which is the umbrella showcase website. So, for example, Mel, CCC, the CCC website, it's also a priority that it's already inside also the general teamwork. So CCC is already being prioritized as a component also for the general teamwork, because it's fundamental for the CCC board setup and all the nonprofit fund and nonprofit budget.
Yeah, but it can also be prioritized as part of
I think
the
this is
program as well for the launch once we get to that point too. So it can be in both categories.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add, Mel, for this or any other program?
Nope, that's good.
All right. That brings us to the umbrella fundraising. Are there any questions on the sponsorship program before we move on to the umbrella fundraising campaign? So who wants to do the umbrella fundraising campaign? Moon, Moss, or should we go back to me again? Or I guess Moss and the Moon are not here.
I think you can take the lead.
All right, I'll do this one. Okay, so was that Moss? Okay, I'll just do it. Okay, so is the program active? So the answer is no. We currently do not have a active fundraising campaign, nor umbrella fundraising campaign. How does it affect the team and network? Well, it definitely does. Based on our life support, we have team members who have direct needs for fundraising for their own lives and families, including issues of health, homelessness, and other basic life necessities. Right, so note that as BLN. So that's pretty significant. How much work would this take? I think it's like for each individual campaign, not that much work, but it can be like the less work, the less money you bring in, right? The less
Yeah.
work, the less money. So the amount of work you put into it, the more money you're going to get out of it if you actually put effort into a fundraising campaign. But as a whole, the overall umbrella fundraising campaign is pretty simple as a concept, so it shouldn't be too much. Shouldn't be too much work, but obviously we have 0% worked on the program or the website, so that is obviously 0%. Is it essential for launch? I would argue that this is not essential for the launch. Right? We don't currently doing it. We don't have to do it. It would be a really nice thing to do because it might bring in some funds for our workers as well as for our budget. And it does have revenue generation model, so we could do a soft launch. Soft launch could bring in revenue quickly. Who knows? Anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 plus over the next half year or so. And I think over time, this could be a good source of revenue if we keep launching good fundraising campaigns. I would also note here that we could also consider writing a grant or two and potentially bring in an additional, I don't know, what do you think, Mel, like $0 if they say no to our grant, to maybe $10,000 grant or something like that?
Yeah,
So
that works.
that would be the revenue generation. How does this relate to our values and purpose? I believe this is definitely a core component of value in our model for helping anyone who wants to start a campaign but doesn't necessarily want to start an entire organization. So the sponsorship program is really great for people who want to start organizations. Whereas if someone just wants to start a campaign to raise a little bit of money, the sponsorship program is really not applicable. So this is much more applicable in terms of helping people directly.
Okay.
Where would this take us in the future? So the future vision would be that, maybe once or twice a year, we do an updated umbrella fundraising campaign, and raise ideally, tens of thousands of dollars each year or half a year.
Okay.
That would be our goal. And also we would be able to, have the infrastructure to quickly and easily launch new campaigns if there is an individual or group need. So it would make us more prepared for launching campaigns when the need arises, so that we would already have a structure and infrastructure in place to immediately just be like, oh, you need a campaign? 3 days later, boom, we have a campaign and we're already starting to bring in money. So that would be very, very useful, both in the short term and the long term.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So I would like,
Alberto?
I would like to add something. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
maybe it's it's more applicable to later, but I think it's very important that everybody keeps in mind that not to take easy, even though this is not essential for the launch. Still, when we're going to decide, it's very good to always keep in mind that what we're deciding is what we're going to get for the launch. And then, as Jay already mentioned, many of these websites, as soon as they're ready, we can soft launch them. Right? So they could already start to do income. And this is a very easy and quick way to do income. Because if we don't include something into the launch, there's no guarantee that we will launch it quickly after, right? Because we have no idea once we launch that's it. We're launching, and we're going to be super focused in working on what we're launching. So it's very important that yeah, it's not essential for the launch, but it's an easy way. It could be one of the soft launches before the official launch. Can bring money easily, and it's a very big high risk to not include it for the launch for maybe 1 month more of work or like this, and then risking to launch it only never, or we have no guarantee that it could also never be launched, because then we will have also the public that will decide what is in the pipeline. And yeah, so this is something in general that Jay yesterday commented to me, and it's stuck in my mind, and I would like to share this so that everybody can also reason in this way.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on the umbrella fundraising campaign considerations for whether to include it in the launch? All right. So let's go on to the last few. We have 3 left. We already did the pipeline. So the next one is the contributors co-op. Alberto, do you want to do this one, or should I do it as well? Or what?
I can do it. Yes,
Okay.
I would like to do it. I would love to do it. Yeah. So the program is, yes, obviously is active. Is
The
okay.
most
So you're
active.
yeah. I mean, it's everything we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is everything. So it's super active. Obviously, super active. Then how does it affect the network and the team? Is it part of our story? I mean, obviously, it's like it's everything for us, right? So. How much work will it take to accomplish? Here, I mean, it's very difficult to say, but it probably will take the most work, because it doesn't exist, and potentially, it can take so many hours, right? So it will definitely be very heavy on the workload. Then, is it essential for the launch? I mean, it's not really essential for the launch, but I mean, what's the point of launching if we are not launching with the website that is explains everything what we do, and especially would also relate to all the tokens and the new economic value system that we're building through our tokens. So, in my opinion, personally, thinking to launch without this, it's like I have a bad feeling. It's like it doesn't feel good. Like it didn't feel good to launch only SVG. If I think to launch without this website, I have the same feeling that I had when we said, Jay and I, we said, all right, stop here. We are not ready to launch SVG alone. There's something missing, and we went back and we created all these beautiful new systems and models that you're all experiencing. So it's not essential. It is not. All right. If I need to give a reason response, it is not. But I mean, for me, there's no point to launch without this, right? So what are we launching? We're launching a bunch of things that we do, but we're not launching how we do them, why we do them. So yeah, this is my personal opinion. So it's not essential for the launch, but I like for you guys to know what I think about it. Well, the revenue generation model and potential income. I mean, this is also difficult to say, but directly, I would say zero. In the short term, zero. But I mean, the possibilities are endless with this, right? Because you could bring donations, you could help people understand better what we do, and encourage them to donate in our campaign. So it's related to everybody, to everything that we do, right? So it could help as a tissue that is binding everything, right? So not directly, but directly, I mean, not really.
I was thinking about this for a while, and I think I could add to that.
Yes, please.
So we did discuss the revenue generation model here, and even though technically it's 0. There is one component that is very important. When we talk about not having volunteers and that everybody is an investor and everybody is either investing their time or they're investing their money or they're investing their resources or contacts or whatever it is, they're investing into the co-op, and the co-op automatically, based on our policies, issues equity. And that equity is overseen by the workers' co-op, in essence. This is where the equity and the value goes. And that's part of why we're changing the name from the workers' co-op to the contributors' co-op. Because it's not just about working, it's about contributing. So anyone that contributes to anything automatically gets equity. So once we set this up correctly, two things happen. One is all of the tokens that we have built around our equity models all funnel through the co-op and the co-op vision and the co-op model. So technically speaking, once we get this set up, we could easily offer our tokens as part of our fundraising model, where instead of donating money, you actually go buy tokens and you increase the total value of the liquidity and the equity. And that directly brings in money, where we could actually pay people with tokens that are actually valued with money because people back them by buying them. So that is definitely a source of revenue. It's not a normal source of revenue, but it has everything to do with the new economic model. And I think that is definitely a valid model of revenue, is to sell our equity and tokens and have people invest in the co-op itself as opposed to an individual program. Because all the equity kind of channels through there. So that was just one idea that I was thinking about in terms of our revenue generation. How much would that mean? I don't know. Maybe we could bring in anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, $20,000 of funds going into the token and the value behind and supporting the work that gets done by the co-op. So I think that's a possibility that should not be ignored. And then the only other thing I'll say is just that, well, I'll just stop there. No, I'll come back to it. But yeah, back to you, Alberto.
Yes, exactly, Jay. Thank you so much. Because, I mean, the potentials are endless. So, and the risking to not have it in the launch and then having no guarantee that it will be launched anywhere soon, I mean, I have a bad feeling on that, very bad feeling. So, then what else? How does this relate to our values and purpose? I mean, this is our values and purpose. This is how we operate in order to accomplish our values and accomplish our purpose, right? So,
I thought of one other thing, is that all of our recruitment systems are all based under the co-op, right? Because when someone joins any program, they automatically become a member of the contributors co-op, right? That's the whole model. So the biggest issue with SVG and the client work and even some of the programs that we're launching, if they became big, like life support, lots of people got involved, and with our launch, people got really excited about it. You have what's called a scaling problem. By setting up the co-op, it is that the scaling problem won't be an issue because the co-op will actually build an entire recruitment interface onto the website that will basically automate our recruitment system so that people can get involved and get placed into the organization based on their interests and their needs very quickly and easily on a front-facing public website, instead of what we do now, which is all back-end, kind of hokey pokey all over the place, right? So the entire recruitment process itself could be made 100 times more functional with the co-op website model. And then when we get to the point where we need to do mass, we need to scale quickly because we get an investment of $100,000, $200,000 or more, we would be able to very quickly improve our recruitment because we would already have a website that allows people to directly get involved, automatically issue tokens and value, and get them stable and in the team very quickly. Check.
yeah, great. Yes, so important, right?
We don't need to be able to scale quickly. We can have a recruitment process that's a little bit slow and clunky, and we can still be functional. So it's definitely not a requirement. It's not essential, but it would obviously help substantially.
Yeah, I mean, but our purpose is to change the world, to make the world a better place. And if you wanna even even think about being successful in doing that, we need to be able to scale, because we need to become huge, right? We need to become huge. We need to become a multi-billion-dollar organization.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
first,
how do you change the world otherwise, right? So, and if you're not scalable, and we start getting so much recruitment, and we don't have this set up, and we would spend all the time for recruitment, and it would become a mess. Yeah, so this is so important for relation to our values, our purpose, and our future. I mean, this will help our future and our vision so much. It's even difficult to imagine now a scenario that, I mean, this is what gets me most excited of basically everything here.